Long before Shawn Michaels became one of wrestling's most iconic and influential stars, he was one half of the Rockers, teaming with Marty Jannetty to form one of the most exciting tag teams of their time. The duo made a name for themselves across NWA territories and the AWA before reaching their most memorable run in WWE. There, they captured fans' attention with their fast-paced, high-flying tandem offensive style that was truly ahead of its time. But like all great things, their run together didn't last forever. And truth is, without that split, we may never have seen Shawn Michaels become the legendary Mr. WrestleMania. So, what led to the breakup of the Rockers?
Professional wrestling is my life!
The story of the Rockers break up on screen. The Rockers had a respected and memorable run as a team, but in terms of accomplishments on paper, their resume wasn't exactly stacked. Their only WWE Tag Team Championship victory came under controversial circumstances, one of WWE's most infamous Phantom title reigns. The win happened in a match against the Hart Foundation, but the bout was plagued by technical issues, including the ring ropes literally falling apart. The match was such a mess that WWE decided to never air it, and the title change was ultimately erased from the record books. By the fall of 1991, the Rockers' lack of kayfabe success started to boil over. It all started when Shawn Michaels lost a televised match to Ric Flair. What made it worse was Marty Jannetty's attempt to help his injured partner, rolling Michaels back into the ring only for that move to directly lead to HBK getting pinned. Tensions grew even more at Survivor Series, when Jannetty accidentally cost Michaels another match, sparking a heated argument between the two. Things hit a breaking point after the Rockers lost a tag team title match to the Legion of Doom, with each man blaming the other for the loss. Everything finally came to a head on the Barber Shop, Brutus Beefcake's talk show segment. It seemed like the two might patch things up until Michaels blindsided Jannetty with a vicious super kick, then smashed him through a glass window. In that moment, the Rockers were done, and Shawn Michaels officially stepped into his role as a heel, a move that would change his career forever. The story of the Rockers break up behind the scenes. Shawn Michaels wrote about the end of the Rockers at some length in his book, Heartbreak and Triumph, The Shawn Michaels Story. He described that Marty Jannetty gave Vince McMahon an ultimatum on the tag team's behalf because he felt they were underpaid, but that Michaels didn't appreciate the negotiation strategy. Ultimately, HBK was firm that he wanted to stay with WWE even if Jannetty left, and that set them up to be split up as a team. While Jannetty would hang around WWE in the years to follow, it wasn't without the tumult of being temporarily let go for allegations of substance abuse and ultimately getting moved back into the tag team division. In his book, Michaels acknowledged that Jannetty has his own version of the story that paints Michaels in a much more negative and selfish light. Regardless, the split happened with the showstopper famously throwing his partner through the window of the barbershop interview set. Michaels wrote that he'd come up with the idea, inspired by the effect of people getting thrown through bar windows in old Western movies. Michaels wrote that they'd initially earmarked the spot for the Rockers' feud with the Nasty Boys. But it worked even better for HBK's big turn to kickstart his singles career. What happened after the Rockers split? The split of the Rockers didn't just end a beloved tag team, it created a whole new standard in wrestling. The dramatic difference between Shawn Michaels' meteoric rise and Marty Jannetty's struggles set a template that fans and even wrestlers themselves would reference for years to come. The Miz and John Morrison famously cut promos calling the less successful member of any team the Marty Jannetty of the duo. Michaels, of course, went on to become a living legend main eventing 4 WrestleManias, winning 2 Royal Rumbles and capturing 4 World Championships along the way. Jannetty, on the other hand, found a respectable career as a mid-card and tag team performer, but never came close to reaching the same heights. Later in his career, Jannetty would occasionally resurface in WWE, usually tied to Shawn Michaels in some way. They had a one-night reunion to take on La Resistance, and Jannetty was even brought in at times to help younger heels build heat by beating him up to further their feuds with Michaels. Over the years, Michaels and Jannetty's relationship has been a mixed bag. Sometimes they've taken public shots at each other, other times they've shown genuine signs of friendship. Interestingly, in the Young Bucks book Killing the Business, the brothers revealed that Jannetty once put in a good word with Michaels to help them get a shot in WWE. In the grand scheme of wrestling history, The Rockers are often remembered less for their own greatness and more for being the launch pad that catapulted Shawn Michaels into superstardom. Even so, they were a phenomenal team in the ring. And their brutal, unforgettable breakup remains one of the most iconic splits in WWE history.